What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So we have a new Apple Watch or watchOS update today in the form of 11.3 Beta 1. Let's just say I'm hoping we have some new things here, better than just a new camera remote shortcut for pausing video playback. Still think it's a great feature to have on our watches. However, it's just mind-blowing, honestly, at this point that we don't have something new, not even new watch faces, for any of these new recent beta cycles. So if you guys follow the channel, you know we've been very critical of how stagnant in growth iOS and watchOS has really been. At least in iOS now we're getting a ton of Apple Intelligence features. Take it or leave it, at least there's something new. I don't think a lot are useful. We've talked about that in the past, but let's see what's going on in watchOS and hope for some more stability improvements and maybe even better battery life, because I don't know about you guys, running watchOS 11.2's public release has been pretty bad. Let's go. Okay, so watchOS 11.3 Beta 1 just finished installing on our Apple Watch Ultra 2, and I gotta say, it actually downloaded very quickly, and so far, just hopping around even while it is still restoring, everything's been pretty smooth. So this did come in at a size of about 380 megabytes, nothing crazy or out of the normal necessarily, but it is not bad considering it's a first beta of a new OS. So take that for what you want, but it is definitely very good to see. And just because it's easier to show you here, let's jump right into settings for the watch and about, and you can see right here the watchOS version is 22S5534D. So this D build signifies that it is obviously a little ways away from a public release or the final RC build, simply because the way Apple does go about its beta numbering schemes and letters that go with it, the closer to the beginning of the alphabet you get, the closer you are for a public release, and we're just not there yet. Makes sense? First beta. Aside from that, as we've known all along, all of these watchOS builds for 11 unfortunately are not getting a lot of new features. Since iOS 18 is more centrally filled on getting Apple's promises of Apple Intelligence out, watchOS has somewhat been ignored for a little while here, and we're just kind of jumping and scrolling through. It's working pretty well, but there's not going to be a number of new features. Unfortunately, if you missed our prior video, if you go into the camera remote here and you want to actually start filming something, let's just go ahead and say a video, so to speak. Now, not only can you start and stop recordings, but you do have an option now to pause them as well, at least. And that's the extent of the new features we got in watchOS 11.2. There's nothing else. No Apple Intelligence features are even coming to watchOS necessarily. You are getting the reminders. I'm sorry, not really reminders, the notifications showing as priority and summaries, but nothing else is really coming to the watch for all of that, which is very disappointing, really. Aside from that, actually just jumping around again, you can see it is running smoothly. I did have an issue with battery life being horrible on this watch when it was running 11.2. It just would die too quickly. I'm hoping that this will be now improved here as well. I'm going to jump down into settings again now on the watch just to show you one other thing here. And when you jump in here and you actually go down to, let's see, where are we at here? Battery. You can see your battery health. And for our watch here, you can see we have a maximum capacity of 97%. And this is still reflecting correctly after, again, some of the debacles with earlier watchOS 11 builds, showing that this was substantially degraded. At least that is hanging in there. Again, though, just swiping around and looking, there's not a ton of new here. Obviously, we have our Tesla Watch app that will get set up here shortly when the holiday update hits, but just jumping around, everything's working as you would anticipate. Unfortunately, I don't find anything yet that is new and really worthy of continuing on in this video yet, but we'll do some deeper digging and hopefully find something new in this build. If you missed our other video, iOS 18.3 Beta 1 was released, and it was a very similar situation where, unfortunately, even in iOS, there was nothing new for this build. Let's talk about it later. We'll jump into it after we get another beta, possibly not until next year. That brings us to our last point here. This is a dangerous beta to install if there's any issues, simply because not only are we going to miss our traditional 2 week release cycle, but this could be the only beta we get and most likely will be until next year. So today's the 16th when they release this, and if you go all the way down, we probably won't receive another beta until around January 6th, possibly at the earliest. So if there's any substantial or crippling bugs, we might not get a chance to get those fixed until next year. Just something to keep in mind. They always tell you don't put betas on your primary devices. We know how some of us operate and can't really resist for something new and something shiny, but this might be one you want to hold off on, simply for that reason. But let us know what you think in the comments below. What's going on with Apple and watchOS? What would you like to see? Even a new watch face, perhaps. We're not even getting that. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.